as the Truth Network. And what it basically is my name and phone number connecting with people from all over the world on different platforms. So there's that. And then there's the collaborative effort with all of us that are exposing the truth. Oh, hey there. Hey there. I got it out here for a photo, video op. You're on it. You can set it down. I'll just move it back on over. It's all good. Oh, it's not a problem at all. So I'm on a live stream right now. You could check it out if you want to picture or get the info off of my banner there. So part of what ends up happening is there's an opportunity for people to explore reality based on, well, new information. A friend of mine from California sent me a video, Jack Neal interviewing Owen Benjamin. What a treasure that is. I can totally see why he got canceled. Oh, yeah. How about that? So we live on a stationary level plane with a pressurized atmosphere, which means we've got a structure above us, a container, the firmament as it's referred to. And I've got some video I shot of the sunrise over here that was spectacular. And it's been used in a lot of videos on a lot of channels showing what many of us refer to as the local sun. And then I did a sunset that had over 1 million views collectively through Facebook groups on the Flat Earth Research channel or Flat Earth Research page on Facebook, and then the Infinite Earth page on Facebook. And collectively, like I said, there was over 1 million views. And now this morning, I found out that at least the videos I found didn't have very many views for whatever reason. But the one that I shot out here about 9 years ago is spectacular. And you can look at it. It's towards the top of my research library. Now on the water, what I've got here is a copper rod. It's a copper plumbing that I got from a hardware store, cut it in half and put it in 2 jugs. It was only a few dollars for that. And then this is reverse osmosis carbon filtered and now solar activated water. And it'll get a lot more energy with the reflection off of the wet sand. And that's one of the reasons why I do that. I have to be careful where I set that because it can catch things on fire like grass or paper, wood, that type of thing. So this is at 62nd Street North. There's public restrooms and showers and running water. They're very nice accommodations. Public parking as well. The tide is going to go out for probably another hour or so. And it's spectacular out here. There's not much of a breeze. So I can see it with my eyes. And I'm going to show you through the camera the fog that's on the water over there. It's one of the reasons why we can't take a telescope and see Europe from here. Now on a live stream, I don't have entirely the image stabilization that I do on a direct recording. This is a iPhone 17 Pro Max. Look at how spectacular the reflections are. It's a sea level liquid mirror. Once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Not that I would want to, it was just spectacular. what I was able to see with that. So this is the largest body of electrolyte in the world. Quite a bit deeper now. But here there's a sandbar that's accumulated. And now I'm going up. So higher is drier and wetter is darker is wetter all over the face of this stationary level Earth. Now, the reason why this matters is there's a lot of globers. They're globing it still, and they don't know. Maybe they've been told. It looks like we might have somebody standing way, way out there. So where we stand affects our perception, metaphorically and literally. I've got a different view than anybody that would be out here right now because of where I stand. Now I can see a vehicle coming down the beach over there. That's known as Wade's Island. Can go on horseback rides through the Inlet Point Plantation over there if you care to. I will link my link tree in the description and the first comment. I'll pin it as well. The real heavy lifting with all this is my YouTube research library. However, there are videos that are YouTube videos that, because of different searchability factors, like if it's made for kids, children, then it's not allowed to be added to a playlist, and I believe comments are turned off. So I believe the movie Transcendence is available for your view on my Facebook profile. I've got a lot of content on my Facebook that it's unique to that location. Now, there is the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars category of hashtag. On the Instagram result of that hashtag, there's over 34,000, almost 35,000 results. This is a collaborative effort. It's not just me making posts. All these little water spouts coming out of the sand, there's a little shrimp that's in there, and they are part of the mechanism to clean the water. We've got abiotic oil in this world, meaning it's continually created. And it's easy to find oil apparently under the ocean. And then there's salt flats like in Bolivia at over 3,000 feet elevation. How did a ocean get up there? Well, I believe it was the Great Flood that put that there. So it wasn't just a bunch of rain. God, the Almighty God, the Creator, went ahead and opened up the windows of heaven, as it's referred to as. Now we can see my water jug there. And then I will put it in a copper conductive carafe so it'll be grounding or earthing. Let me zoom in on it now. See the difference just a moment makes? So one of the really unpopular realities, those that are globing it are reality deniers. That's just a fact. So it doesn't matter how many letters you have around your name or digits in your Monopoly Money bank account, or who you need to please to get access to the family fun zone. None of that matters. What matters is the truth. So people conflate the number of followers or how wealthy or respected they are with truth. Couldn't be further from the truth. the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, the way, the truth, and the life, knowing the end from the beginning. Man, that's is dangerous. Well, I don't claim to be self-taught. I claim to go where the truth is, led by the Holy Spirit. So I wanted to know the truth about who's in charge and how this works. And it works well. It will confound the proud. Now we can, with the lighting change, we can see that fog a little bit better. If you want to see highly zoomed in videos, I've got video and photography work I've done with the P900 and P900 and P1000 Nikon Coolpix. Spectacular camera for being a globe killer. We can see way too far on the what they say the globe is, 24,901 miles in circumference would mean that we would have to have 8 inches per mile squared to equal that. Well, it's not there. I've got the calculator. You can go to it, earthcurvature.com. Check that out if you want to. Good morning. So the reality is the truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular nor an opinion. It's simply the reality. The more important the question, the more important an accurate answer is. So what are you going to do with that? How are you going to know it? How are you going to see it when it's right in front of you? And I don't just mean this video at this moment. I mean, whatever circumstance you're looking at, what's the truth about it? Whatever you want to know about. So we live in very precarious times, and there's a lot of deception all around us. And I believe it's designed that way so that people can realize, apart from divine intervention, they're not going to get the most important truth. You can figure out every other truth there is, and if you get it wrong, it's not as big of a deal as what is the nature of salvation? What about heaven and hell and eternity? And where will you spend forever and why? These are eternal questions that have an eternal significance. I'm going to see if I can zoom in better on that person standing in the water. Now, if the P900, I could tell, I would know if I knew that person, I could see their face well enough to recognize them. That's the amount of zoom. The 900 is 83 times zoom. The 1000 is 125 times zoom. So that little spot in the sky is the moon. It's a lot closer than 238,000 miles. Now, in that video, Owen Benjamin misspoke. He mentioned the sun being 93,000 miles away, according to the official lie. I believe that he just misspoke. I've done it accidentally. Supposedly, the sun is 93 million miles away, and we see the apparent movement of the sun based on a rotation of the Earth over 1,000 miles an hour. And then there's other contradictory movements supposedly going on, totaling over 500,000 miles an hour. And the reason we can't feel it, because it's not happening. That's why. That's why we can't feel it. So they're mocking us. as a species, and we're dealing with, sorry about that. So they're mocking us. And the parasite class is drawing energy from the host, the population of the world, our labor and effort and focus, attention, all of that. They harvest the resources from that. And our cooperation in creating the prison of our own enslavement. And I'm simply wanting to help set people free. I want to actually reprogram humanity with the truth. And I understand that sounds grandiose. I'm not thinking that I could do that on my own. It's actually living out my purpose, doing what I'm created to do. I was going to walk backwards, but this works better. So this is a pretty level area. There's a little bit of a contour, but very little. And so the surface of undisturbed, unmanipulated water is flat and level. And then it'll move the sand around to create a sea level liquid mirror where people reflect off of the water. They reflect on their lives, past, let me zoom in. They reflect on their lives, past, present, future, hopes, dreams, fears, regrets. How can anybody navigate through all this and work it all out? I believe the Almighty does. I was looking for my, and unintentionally. So now there's a force multiplier with the sun. One of the reasons why I have the color of skin I have is because I get a lot of early morning sun. I'm feeling the direct sun and multiple points of reflection off of the liquid mirror right over here. And then I'm using coconut oil. Somebody's checking out the water jug over there. You can leave it right there. Hello? You can set it back down, please. It's on my video. You can put it right back. That's okay. Thank you. Yeah, they didn't know. So I also use a 50-50 blend of skincare, which is organic coconut and castor oil. And in a 5-ounce blend of each of the oils together, I'll add about an ounce of hyaluronic acid I get from Amazon. It's a powder that I mix with water. It creates a viscous gel that's naturally occurring in the body. It works great to hydrate the skin. So I don't have a dry skin problem. I don't have rashes or any of that. And because it's on my feet as well as my legs in that, when I sweat the electrolyte and other metabolic activity out of my skin, then it doesn't absorb right back in. It'll bead up and I can wipe it off, rinse it off. This morning I was bathing in reverse osmosis carbon filtered electrolyte enhanced bath water. I heat up a third of my water on the stove, about 12 gallons or so. And then it may be half the water that I bathe in. Got a ground water, because it's composite plumbing, PVC, and a composite non-conductive tub. I've got a ground wire going from my electrical system into the tub. Now, you could go independently and create an electrical ground to the earth that avoids running parallel to the electrical system of your house. It gets a little bit more complicated. People can do it if they want. So what I wanted to say too is the electrolytes that I put in my bath water are a tablespoon of boron, baking soda, magnesium, which is Epsom salt, borax, and a full spectrum sea salt that I get from Tractor Supply Company. I get big bags, 27-pound bags for like $10, and then $12 for the salt that has garlic in it. Garlic is really good at, has a lot of medicinal properties. It's kind of funny. My dad and I went to a race at Road America, Elkhart Lake, and I remember him saying, "Hey, Bobby, you know, I'm taking garlic pills now," and I said, "Really?" Maybe that's why my eyes were burning. No, it wasn't that bad. I was kind of joking with him, but we went there through the picturesque countryside of Wisconsin on our way over there from the Fox Valley, Appleton area, where they make Oshkosh Truck and Manitowoc Engineering. They make tunnel boring machines, all of that. He sold steel to the military, industrial, and manufacturing complexes. The other thing with all that, we were in a Porsche Boxster convertible supercharged, a Boxster S. It's the same kind of one that Brett Favre got for the Super Bowl. Kind of cool. The hair gets real or the scalp gets real tingly when you go for a long distance ride in a convertible, or it can. So now maybe you can see how intense the sun hitting me actually is. So I'll put it at my eye level. It's coming from there, there, and there. And then it completes more when the water comes in and levels it out. And then it dissipates where that high spot right there is. It's testable, repeatable reality. See that now, how it's more clearly defined? So we don't have, I've got more than a toilet water theory, okay? It's the reality. I'm just exposing the unpopular reality. When they spend billions and trillions of dollars, we've got millions of dollars of fireworks display for our 250 and Donald Trumpo and what he's got going on. And then we've got Ukraine and Iran and world wars that we've been involved in. Not you and I, per se, the military industrial complex. And all wars are bankers' wars. How about that? They kill people for exposing this stuff. So how's it going to end? How's it going to end for me? Well, ultimately, I believe I will spend an eternity in heaven, and that eternity is happening right now too. And there will be a where my perception of what I'm experiencing will change over time. Let's zoom in on the water jug now. There it is. So as the tide goes out, we will continue to see the reflections change. There will be high spots and tidal pools and all of that. So years ago, I was doing a video, a Bible video narrated, merged with the beauty of creation. And my friend Nigel Bakes from Tasmania said, "Where's the curve?" I'm like, "Curve? What are you talking about?" And I called him on Messenger, and he said, "Yeah, they lied about living on a globe. It's a level plane." "You mean flat Earth?" He said, "Yeah." So I looked it up. I found Flat Earth Clues with Mark Sargent, and then I found Eric Dubay, and I found other compelling information, ODD TV, and let's see, Morguile, and there were so many content creators showing this reality that's not widely known, especially a decade ago. I found out in 2016. Um, However, it's been highly contested for a long time. Look at them chilling in the sunshine there. And there's the jug again. I was at the Flat Earth International Conference series. I went to all of them. And I think it's been a really good. Oh, thanks for subscribing. Hey, woohoo, a new subscriber. They make it really tough. Whoa, let me zoom on out. There's a lot of shadow banning that goes on, meaning they hide notifications and content that they don't want people to see. Now look at the mirror that this is. See that? There's my shadow, of course, right there. Hi there, everybody. And look at the mirror. Shadows and reflections. There will be a little distortion on the wet sand because of the contour. However, when it goes right to the water itself, if it's not being blown around like that is, there's ripples there. Not so many right here. See that? See the distortion on the top, and then there's a little bit less. Now the middle is pretty symmetrical. It's just the way it works. Ah, there's the family that was out here yesterday. Now it looks like we've got, no, it's a different group. So I try to meet people wherever they are. I have a special friend that had an order delivered from Sam's Club yesterday, and then the delivery people, it was a couple, man and woman, and I did the hand of my card, look like this. And I said, hey, I've got a YouTube channel. Feel free to reach out if you think I've missed something or got it wrong. I'm on other platforms, guaranteed to blow your mind. And that was that. And what will they do with that? Now, that individual that's sent those groceries and more products to me said that I was the one that woke her up. And I believe more specifically, it was divine intervention. I believe that's how it actually works. I believe she would agree with me too, because we've talked about that. And I believe it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. And I'm talking the most important truth, like the eternal truth, the forever kind of stuff. Spectacular morning. Let's zoom in on the people over there. So, unless you're actually out here sharing this base reality with me and the others that are out here, you would be looking at it on a screen. And they're really good at faking out humanity on computer screens, television screens. So we get predictive or preemptive programming in the movies, and a lot of fakery and deception on the news. And they may even make a movie, say that it's based on a true story, and they fictionalize a lot. That's just been going on for a long time. So I try to meet people wherever they're at, wherever I can. Like I've got a pocket of cards. I carry them with me. I don't leave home without them typically. And I'll put them in a little Ziploc sandwich bag. And then I'm wearing the lanyard. That worked out really well because, well, I don't want to wear a shirt when I'm wanting to get the sun out here. So I could tell by the lighting that there was more cloud cover. It's just once I became more adept at understanding my environment, what it looks like, it was easier to see more of it. Now it looks like somebody's shoes washed up near my jug over there. Is that what we're looking at? Where are we? Okay. Yeah, see, I can't zoom in enough with this camera. Now, if it were on my a direct recording, now look at how spectacular that is. Let me set it down so you can experience the how stationary and level that all is. So, and as the tide goes out, this water will slow down and it just goes over the top of it and makes it all real level or pretty level. There's a little bit of a contour, as you can see right over here. Some of the videos that I did have almost no commentary. It's only natural sounds. I went through a period of time where I just did a lot of nature video, and then I bought a drone, did a few drone videos, but I found out that there were world-class content creators that would fly jets and helicopters and military aircraft and go over to a location all over the world, picturesque locations to show us a reality that I can't get to. And then there's all the lifetime stories that people have exposing truth that in some cases ended up being an end of their experience here because the system of control didn't like the fact that they wouldn't comply with their command to stop talking about it. Okay, so watch the difference in the reflection with the liquid mirror and the lighting, how it all changes, just walking a few feet. So, where we stand ideologically, metaphorically, and physically affects our perception and our perspective and the view that others hold of us. Are we going to acquiesce? Are we going to go along to get along? Are we going to promote the popular lie? Or are we going to uh, fasten ourselves to the truth in a manner that we're willing to pay the ultimate price in this realm for holding to the truth, for telling the truth, for exposing the truth? So, as I've said a lot of different times, I'll say it again. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. That makes me a threat to this system of deception and control with all they're up to. So it'd be like, imagine if somebody was Penn and Teller or David Copperfield was doing a show, and I stand up in the theater and tell everybody how they're doing it. That wouldn't go over well with them. So imagine a world system that relies on deception to convince the masses to help assemble the prison of their own enslavement. Well, when they see what's going on, the gig's up, man. And then what are they going to do? What are they going to do with the population that sees what they're doing? Well, they can create what's termed as artificial intelligence, supercomputer technology, linking humanity and creating a cybernetic collective where they can use what's termed as transcranial neuromodulation and remote neural monitoring. These are all brain science terminology, and there's a bunch more. You can see it. I don't say it to want to sound important or like I'm smart. I'm saying it because I know what the heck I'm talking about. And when I have my library, it's not a book that a bookshelf behind me. It's reality, and then it's videos exposing that reality. And when I add them to my playlist, or I create this computer-generated representation of the base reality I'm experiencing, with my feet rock solid on the ground, walking on water. Not like Jesus, not like I have a Messiah complex. I'm simply living out my purpose. I encourage everybody to find it and live it out. How are you going to do that? Well, only by divine intervention, where he directs and protects his children. Now, Owen Benjamin was talking about free will. I don't agree with the free will perspective. That would mean that the Almighty would have to acquiesce to my beckon and call, like Garcon, my cosmic bellhop, like I'm going to tell him what I'm going to want him to do. No, and I'm not saying Owen has that crass of a view of it. It's just that's where free will goes ultimately, is that uh, man's volition or will supplants or overcomes the Almighty's will. I believe that doesn't occur. I believe what does occur is we can live out the reason why we were created. And why would God do all this? The Almighty God, that is. You may have a different idea of who that deity is, who that God is. A lot of people determine their deity based on their appetite, personal preference. Well, that's strange. That's not a way to determine objective reality. Well, I mean, it's a way of doing it. It's just a way to get a very distorted view of what's really going on. Now, I had my camera tipped a little bit too much. I could see it. That's better. Yeah, I like that. So what I've said on a lot of about the nature of our reality is we live on a stationary level Earth. That is a provable reality. There's never been any experiment that proves the spinning, wobbling, and gyrating water ball hurling through space. It's just not happening. So you can find that out for yourself. There's a lot of things that we can believe to be true. I have a lot of beliefs. Now, over the years, I found out some of those beliefs were based on false information, fear, false evidence appearing real. little island there. It's what water does. It falls. Water falls, fills its container. The surface of undisturbed, unmanipulated water is flat and level. Woohoo! I just went into I couldn't see how deep it was, but as I showed you earlier, it was pretty deep. Past my knees. I mean, I've got things in my pockets I don't want wet. Now there's a personal watercraft. I've raced those. I found out in 1982 that I could go faster into the wind than with the wind at my back. I was in San Pedro, California, and I was working with Funtech, and it was a real hot stand-up 440 jet ski, but it was ported and bored out 51 miles an hour into the wind and like 45 with the wind at my back. What it did was it created less resistance under the hull and a little bit of lift. So there was less friction on the water. If you're wondering why things float, here we go. It's a little deeper. Buoyancy, Buoyancy, buoyancy. It's a reality. Gravity, as it's misdescribed, is the tendency for more dense items or matter to fall rather than float. So there's all kinds of snide, actually ignorant commentary that says, well, if you don't believe in gravity, just go jump off a bridge. I know that heavier, I should say more dense than the media around it falls. I know that. So what will you do with a reality that's different than you've believed before? Are you going to trade in the lies for the truth? Or are you going to cling to that comfortable, socially acceptable lie? Higher is drier, lower is wetter, all over the face of the stationary and level earth. How about that? So I've got documentaries exposing a lot more. That and a lot more. I think that'll do for now. And you can reach out and give me a holler anytime you like, if you care to. So thank you for your public and private encouragement. Feel free to reach out anytime you like.